So your underlying energy is the Seven of Wands. So it's definitely different from Taurus's reading. They had the Nine of Wands there, but still defensive, protective of something. The Two of Swords. Perhaps a decision that you made, a difficult decision that you made. Definitely, or it could be keeping the balance. The reason why you're protective is because you're not ready to make a decision yet. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look, see here what's going on. Defensive energy, right? Like I said, you guys are protective of something. Something's really gotten you guys on guard. Okay, you guys are defensive, but you have the advantage too, right? The Seven of Wands is standing on a hill while all the other wands are trying to knock him down. You have the opportunity to do anything that you want to do at this position instead of defending yourself like this, right? Nobody can touch you. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're protecting yourself against people that don't matter, against things that don't matter. Because you can't be touched here, right? You could decide to just walk off and say, yeah, okay, whatever, you're not on my level, literally. And I feel like, if you guys hear some stuff, it's because I'm scratching. And I also, how I'm doing these audios now with the audio thing, how I'm doing the videos with the audio now is with my gaming headset. I'm a gamer, so I go like, you know what, let me just see if it works. Okay. So yeah, just wanted to let you know. So if that you heard some weird stuff and it was loud for seconds, I do apologize. I just had to scratch my ear. My ear was itchy. But the Seven of Wands coming up is like, people can't touch you, y'all. Okay? You know you're royalty, but don't fall down to their level. You don't need to be down to that level where you're defending yourself and fight people off. But the fact that you're defensive is a red flag to me. And we're going to go into exactly what's going on. Now, in the heart of your reading, you have the Three of Wands. So okay. So this is about what to expect. But you've been putting in the work, perhaps. You've been doing some things, but you're also waiting, right? This is still the card of waiting. So you could be doing 1,000,001 things, but you're still waiting on something. The challenge is being patient, perhaps, or knowing what to expect when it comes up. And what's crossing that is the Five of Wands. Conflict. So there's conflict in regards to what you expect to return to you. Like, I don't know if you really know what to expect when that card comes up. I feel like there's a lot of changes and anything goes with that change. But I feel like all in all, it's like, whatever you've been changing, scratching my ear again, sorry y'all. Whatever you've been changing, guys, it's whatever you've been changing about yourself, you're not sure if you can expect what's to come because maybe you've been doing some things differently in your process of putting things out there, right? As far as putting your manifestation out there. You guys could be also expecting arguments or conflict or some sort of turmoil, inner turmoil, based off of the returns that you get, because you may have changed in that time frame. Now, in the past, you have you have the Three of Pentacles. Alright, so the Three of Pentacles talks about planning for the future. It can indicate planning for the future with friends or family. Not friends or family, but with somebody, somebody that you can trust to build a future with. Someone that you are trying to build a future with, period. Teaming up with somebody, hashing out details, working out practical planning, but this is also can indicate seeing a future with someone altogether, seeing if there is even a possibility of things being able to work out with this with the Three of Pentacles there. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, you guys are definitely, making some strides at stuff, right? Trying to kind of get a better idea of what you can expect from the future. And now you have the Knight of Swords. Somebody has been very defensive, it's been very aggressive, to say the least. You have the Five of Wands and then the Knight of Cups. And it's because somebody's very focused on what they feel, what they want, first and foremost. And I feel like, I don't know if this is like conflict in regards to somebody's changed their mind. Somebody may have changed how they feel and somebody's trying to fight against that change. Because that's what it kind of looks like. Somebody's like coming in, I got a cup of love. Or maybe this person that you were planning the future with, right? He's like, hey, okay, I can see a future with you. You show pretty consistent stuff or whatever, right? Because I feel like Pentacles to me is more consistent. And, it's reliable in that regard of being realistic, being real, something you can see. But With the Knight of Cups, somebody came in, changed their mind, and now somebody's upset because somebody's changed their mind about how things are going to be going. So now you're confused whether something's going to be working out the way that you planned it, even though you've been working your ass off. So you've been busting your behind, fighting for something, and now you find yourself defending or fighting, obviously defending a certain plan that you had in the very beginning, when your emotions have changed about it typically, or maybe somebody's like come in and changed their mind about how the whole thing's going to run. Right? So ultimately, I think I don't think this is necessarily a person. I do think that usually sometimes when the Knight of Cups comes up in the external energy here, I do get this feeling that this is somebody new, somebody different. Maybe this is an old lover that comes back. Maybe you're trying to see if there was something that you got going on with someone else, and then an ex came back, and now you're kind of trying to figure out whether or not this is something you really want to continue to pursue or not. Some of you guys, you may be seeing a Gemini, and you may be on the fence now. Like, okay, do I go with the Gemini, go with my ex, or go with a lover, a friend that wants to become more? You could have like a third party situation on accident where you're not intending to, you weren't playing with nobody, but they just returned, right? And now you're trying to like defend the relationship that you got here, but you don't know if you're 100% in. Or this could be indicating here that, like, right, with this Knight of Cups, is that ultimately you have changed your mind about how you want to continue, how you want to move forward in this relationship, or where you want to get to, or what you're dreaming of, what you want. And that's okay. Maybe you end up having to defend that. Or the thing is, it's like, maybe it almost looks like you kind of have a split thing going on here. Maybe, like, for some of you guys, you may be like staunch on the old path, but something in you is saying, no, I don't really want that. And you're like, oh, but go with it. This is something this is something we planned for. This is something we hashed out. And you're like, I don't feel it though. And it's like that hard thing to let somebody in, like to let somebody know that, hey, I don't want to do this no more, or not. But I feel like this is somebody else. I feel like somebody came in, changed their mind, and you're like, hell no. What about what we just planned? What about everything we went through? So yeah, there could be conflicts about what to expect now, because there's just a lot of holding on to old stuff, but somebody has gotten new emotions to this, and I feel like it's either both of you, and you're just finding it because, of course, this is something you stood on and you worked hard for, or this is truly something that you want to do. But the Hierophant is in the future, so you end up I do see you end up committing to something, committing to either the change, either the person, or the relationship all together. Because let's be real, we never got to a place of stability here, right? We go from 3 to Knight of Swords to 5, and then all these Knights, which talks about progress. Things are moving forward, definitely skipping and stuff, but we are not getting to a place where it's stable, and we have, that's where the stability comes in the future. Why? Because we're still going through some conflict. We're still going through this, this change, this shift, this just a readjusting period. And I feel like this is a good time to do it, because if you guys got to a stable place and somebody decided to do something else, there would be hell of consequences to pay, right? Like, it'd be like, damn it, man, what we just did. But I think this is really trying to figure out and really set the standards for a stable foundation, because you're coming and being authentic with one another. But I think somebody's being very adamant about how things are going to go. But you may be saying something different. Maybe you're adamant about changing things. Maybe you're like, I don't really want to do that. I don't really want to get married at this soon. Let's change that up. Let's get married next year, or let's not get married at all until we know exactly what we're trying to do with our own lives, right? Either way, you have the Hermit here. There's a new normal. I think there's a new normal that's going to be put into place, a new standard, new routine, a new, thing to kind of, that both of you can agree on. But it starts by resolving this conflict about what one wants, right? About how one feels. And let's be real, like, whether or not this person wants to compromise or not, right? Because you do have the 5 of Swords in your outcome. We're going to get to that in a moment, but the whole fact of the matter is this one person's more adamant, is very adamant, and so is the other person. So it's like, who gives? Who sacrifices? You know, the Knight of Swords, he don't hear the other side at all. He don't give a flying F. And it's because he feels something for what it is that he's fighting for. Right? Typically, it's just that he believes in what he's saying is the truth. But the reason why he thinks it's the truth is backed up with the external energy here with the Knight of Cups is because there's something emotionally involving this. Somebody may be fighting for somebody, but, you know, getting somebody back. Or you could be that, right? You could be doing that. But all in all, it's like, the conflict is, you know, what you believe is true versus what it is that you feel. What do you desire the most? And with the Hierophant in the future, it does level out. It will stabilize, but it's a 5-2, right? It's another 5 as well. So that's changing the patterns in the routines in which you structure your life so you can go towards that goal. So you could go towards whatever you decide to go towards, whether it is the thing that you're fighting it for, or the thing that you feel the most led towards. It could be the very same thing, but there is a conflict here between the two. And I can't get too specific with this because, again, this is for people on YouTube. But the thing is that there is a conflict between what someone wants and what somebody, believes to be their truth, right? And it comes from a very similar place, but someone's very adamant about sticking to a certain way or doing something a certain way, and somebody's more adamant about following their heart and being in the moment and how they feel. Now, with your goal, aim, ambition is the 7 of Pentacles, and I do feel like you guys want to see what your work has been showing up for. Like, I think you guys have been really busting your ass, and I think that's probably why there's this Knight of Swords here. It could be you guys, right? Feeling like, okay, well, I want to see the results of the work that I've been putting in because I have been busting my ass. I have been doing the work necessary. I've been really invested in the things, in whatever this is, right? And whatever this is, a relationship, a career, what have you. You've been investing in it. Now, for some of you guys, it may not be that you want to see your stuff turn out, but it's more like, you're actually, you're recognizing how much you've been working hard at stuff. You've been really working hard at stuff. And I feel like you're ready for the next step. You know that the next step what the next step consists of. It's just that patience period, which is what may be being asked of you at this time. You may have to kind of wait on something. Maybe wait on somebody's decision, or maybe wait on you making a decision, right? I feel like you're not sure if it's worth continuing to put all the effort in. But of course, right? It's really not until you know what you're doing. And I feel like with the 7 of Pentacles here, it's not that you're upset with that being where you want to be, or being at that, at the desired area or place in your life, but it's more of like you're ready for the next steps, but you're still kind of, you're having to wait on something to continue to blossom. There's still work that needs to be done in the meantime, but you're waiting on something. But it's like, this is the grooming period. This is the shedding, the cutting of weeds and everything like that, or stray branches that could snag and, cause the bush harm. This is the cleanup period. Right? The trimming, the sprucing up, right? And I feel like seeing that as that is how you're going to get through the situation. How you focus on what the tasks at hand. Because you're still doing something about your future. You just may be trimming the fat off, or cutting away at unnecessary unusable, unnecessary areas or something like that, right? So you're doing something, but it just looks like to me that you guys do want to make the next steps. You want to go on forward, but everything is kind of like at a standstill, it feels like, because you're looking at you're looking a little closely at the details, at what needs to be done, what needs to change, what needs to be fixed, or what you need to do to kind of get to the next level. Now, with your outcome, you have the 5 of Swords, and the 5 of Swords does indicate that, somebody either compromises or severs a relationship, or not sever a relationship, chooses their self, right? They choose themselves. And what I mean by choosing themselves is that they don't compromise their dreams. They don't compromise their truth. Somebody ends up being that Knight of Swords all the way through instead of compromising. Now, like I said, somebody's super adamant about a certain thing. Somebody's not necessarily, maybe somebody else has a different feeling on it, or a different take, or somebody's just very much focused on on their emotions and don't really care about how the thing flows, how the thing goes. And I feel like what the Five of Swords is saying is that when the Five of Swords comes up, period, it's like always like a caution card. Like, hey, be careful, right? Whatever you decide to do right now, it can and potentially will end up cutting something off in between. Right? So, and as a difference, like you're giving something up when you do that. Okay, something's being sacrificed. You always sacrifice something with the Five of Swords. And I say that because there's something that you may end up giving up. Either way, you can't leave this Five of Swords energy without giving something up. And I feel like it's saying that to be careful, right? Of course, you matter, your dreams matter, but it's about do you let your ego or your dreams, your morals trump the relationships that you have with someone? Is there really no way to meet down in the middle of a situation? And I feel like Leo's is like, I don't know if this other person's mad at it or it's you, but I get this feeling that somebody's willing to divvy up, to sacrifice, or to compromise. Someone's willing to compromise because they love the person more than they love the goal itself. Love a certain approach to some things. So the relationship may. There may be, somebody that's willing to compromise, or, maybe you be the bigger man and compromise. Either way, or nobody compromises. But the point of it all is, how do you move forward when no one wants to work together? Because in the past, right, you were definitely seeing some working together quality, and now you don't know how to even move forward or what to expect because nobody's working together anymore. Now everybody's working against each other, or everyone's fighting each other. So who do you commit to? Your truth, yourself, or do you commit to the relationship? And that's a hard one to decide because this is something that's neither wrong or right? You can't make, this is not a decision that I can make for you. This is not a decision anyone can make for you because you have to live with that consequence. You have to live with those decisions that you make. So which decision do you want to live with? So it says time to ground. 45 is talking about stabilizing and being, the Seven of Wands in a way. Grounding yourself, standing your ground. Standing your ground. It's saying, I feel like what it's saying is the Five of Swords here, being solid in your truth. Being solid in yourself, though, knowing that, nothing could shake you down, nothing could break you down whatsoever. Okay? And being strong during a difficult time, being the hard place in a time of wonky energy for you. Because right now this is a great deal of change, but you have to kind of, be in touch with yourself as you go through that. So you guys have Tick Talk, which talks about timelessness. There's no time like the present. That things happen in due time. There's no need to rush. Right? Especially if somebody's trying to hurry the process. Now, that's the thing, right? If somebody's trying to make something happen faster than it needs to happen, or faster than it feels right to you, then that's the thing too. Then it's like, fuck it. You can't, no, chill out. Slow down. Slow down a second. So that's what TikTok talks about. Slow down for a moment. Take it easy. Take a breath for a moment. Because you're trying to make something happen sooner than maybe it's meant to. Everything will happen when it's meant to happen. And you'll know when it's time. And if the other person, especially if this is you guys just be like, I don't want to do this. I don't really want to, because I feel like that's what it is. Like some of you guys may not be feeling it that soon. Like you guys may not be feeling like, ready to kind of take off and run like the Knight of Swords is. Like that Seven of Wands came up for a reason. You're not moving fast. fast with that 7 of Wands. You're actually maintaining with that 7 of Wands. So, 7 of Wands came up for a reason. You're not moving fast with that 7 of Wands. You're actually maintaining with that 7 of Wands. You're actually maintaining with that 7 of Wands. So, 7 of Wands came up for a reason. You're not moving fast with that 7 of Wands. You're actually maintaining with that 7 of Wands. So, 7 of Wands came up for a reason. You're not moving fast with that 7 of Wands. You're actually maintaining with that 7 of Wands. So, 7 of Wands came up for a reason. You're not moving fast with that 7 of Wands. You're actually maintaining with that 7 of Wands. So, it's almost like you guys are like defensive about that sort of approach, because you like the leisurely being in the moment, going by day, exploring your feelings for you and your partner or whatever. You like that day by day, but you don't want to just kind of jump to the next level before you understand how you feel, before you kind of get a glimpse of what's going on about how you guys work together. And it's like, it's not, I don't think it's a personal thing, really. It's more of just what is the intentions of it, of everybody. Like, everybody's intentions seem to be a little off. And I don't think it's the core essence of somebody. It's more, I mean, even though the Five of Swords will show someone's true colors, I do feel like it's more of like, where is everybody's intentions at? Why are you trying to get to X, Y, Z? And it's not that person that's ugly or has an ugly personality. It's just that everybody's intentions are different. Why they're different? That's the thing that we have to understand. We have to at least try to understand. And that's where that 5 of Wands is coming up, right? It's like, yeah, we got to figure out everybody's coming from. What's everybody's intentions? What is your intentions? What are you trying to do? Right? But it's time to ground and saying, just stabilize. And TikTok is saying, take your time with it. Don't worry about the time thing, because it's not going, it don't matter. Right now, what matters is you building something that makes you, that stands the test of time, versus you actually racing against the clock to make it. Because that's not going to make it last forever. Moving too fast is more of, quantity over quality. And I feel like the thing is the same. Time to refine. Let's focus on quality. Let's focus, that's what you want. Like, if you want your dream to be the best dream ever, you have to focus on it rather than how long it's going to take. So that's probably why the 7 of Pentacles is here too, because there is a waiting period. There is some patience that's needed. The 3 of Wands, and the 7 of Pentacles, very similar in their energies, because they both have a lot to do with waiting. That's the kind of only thing that really makes them similar. And I feel like if you have, if somebody's being really impatient with you, you got to do what you got to do. But the thing is that there's not much you could do to force somebody to do anything. And I don't think you should ever force anybody to do anything, because you wouldn't want to do that you wouldn't want to be forced to do anything, right? But most importantly is that, if it does need a little more time to kind of keep going, if it needs a little bit more time to stabilize, to be real, why not just focus on what you need to do in the meantime as you go through that process of making whatever needs the extra time